Hey guys, Stealth here and welcome back to Transport Fever. It's episode 2 of this ginormous map. Recommend you check out episode 1 if you want to just see the sheer size of this thing. It's been a few in-game years since I left you, and in that time I have added a few more vehicles to the Mason stone/production material line, as well as some more vehicles over on the left side on what is generally now referred to as the Suicide Road, right next to the water here. Let's just see what this boss can see. So far it looks alright, but as this thing turns left, there's a sheer cliff face on the left. Aside from the map edge that you can see right on the edge of the screen. Anyway, repaid a good deal of my debt already. We only have 2 million in debt at the moment. That was 6. And we're actually making decent money this year. 264,000, and the year is only 1909. So I'm going to repay another 500k, and so far most of my lines seem pretty profitable, with the exception of the Whalers line. That's the pretty much the feeder line towards the distance of Sheba's Landing to Whalers here in the south. There's definitely a few people waiting here. 25, 26 waiting to go to Sheba. 29 as they're getting additional units going there. You can see you have a decent portion of vehicles moving back and forth, and they only have to wait a little bit of time, not even too much. There's a 3-minute waiting time. That's how often these vehicles arrive. Now, Mason Construction and Rosie's Garden Food Line both have interesting financial charts. You can see that they are making decent money, but it's pretty much one trip per year that they can make. That's how long it takes for one of these vehicles to make it all the way from their starting resource point towards the factory that transits the resources into the final product, and then over to the final delivery. For example, in Mason over here. Mason is getting a fairly decent supply of construction material at the moment, and you can slowly see the amount of jobs going up. I would like to connect Mason to Mosquito Bay over here. It's going to take a long time for people to get from here to there, or the other way around. But I think that trucks, coaches are the only real way of getting them there. A couple of new vehicles, nothing I'm going to be using. And then tie it into Sheba's Landing as well. Although you could argue that at these distances, especially Mosquito Bay to Mason, maybe the airplanes are faster, but flight hasn't been invented in this stage of the game just yet. Now, last year, profit $460,000. I'd say that for 1910, when I'm just using trucks, that is quite the achievement. I'm very happy with that performance, and I hope I can keep that up. Now, so far Mason's getting very well supplied. Let's have a look at all the way over in the north, where we have Rosie's Garden, I think. Yep, here we are, Rosie's Garden. There's definitely plenty of stuff waiting to be picked up here, and Rosie's Garden is getting a good amount of food. We could try supplying Joker's Ridge with food as well. It's just not going to be in the most fortuitous location, considering food has to come all the way from over here. Can I tie Rosie's Garden and see on the other places, considering that they have a decent amount of commerce going on. Shopping facilities are starting to rise. I think I could tie it into Joker's Ridge just by truck, or by the post bus that I'm using elsewhere as well. Smuggler's Run, very, very straight road. Again, facing over the cliffs here. I like that aspect of it. And it's just going to be a very long drive, but it might turn some profits here and there. You can see that Whalers to Sheba is turning a profit. Mason Construction is running a deficit at the moment. That's mostly because the vehicles are now on their way to delivery. Once they get there, you're going to see this number tick back up to about 200k, maybe 250 if it's a good year. So it just keeps going up and down, simply because we don't have a constant stream of income there. Rosie's Garden could be tied into any of the other towns. Yeah, it's just distance. Right, profits this year. 47k, it's only October. Don't let this deceive you. It may only look like it's a tenth of what I made last year, but that probably means that the vehicles just didn't get around to doing a full run this year. And the year is not quite over, as you can see. We're still getting some more profits, and at this point pretty much anything I earn is just flat out profit. Keeps going up, 108. It's November. Can still have a few of these arrive. For example, here. That's 24k right there. Let's quickly pay off another tick. And I might actually be able to completely get rid of the loan this episode. That would be wonderful, because that means I'd have no problems there, no interest rates, nothing. And yes, the money income for past year is only half of what I made the year before. But you can see that we're already turning a profit. And this is only January 1911. So yeah, I'd say I'm doing pretty well. Let's focus on connecting Joker's Ridge to Rosie's Garden. And hopefully people are going to go from Joker's Ridge to Rosie's Garden to shop there. Now, I'm not going to work with feeders. I'm going to go with buses that go from Joker's Ridge to Rosie's Garden and back. So we're going to have a few bus stops in this town. Let's see, they're going to come in from there. So it's 1, 2, 3. Then you're going to once again stop there. You're going to come into this side of town. Then you're going to go here, there, and there. Alright, let's set it up. Start point. Park Avenue, Broadway, Mill Roads. There, Chester Road, South Street, George Street, back to Chester Road. And then we finally end up... Actually, we need to add Mill to that. And then South Street. There. So this is Rosie's Garden to Joker's Ridge. Since we already have a vehicle bay nearby, I can just use that, the road depot. And as per the previous, I'm going to slowly feed this thing in. So we have a vehicle coming every couple minutes. Right now it's every 42 minutes. That's a bit long. So we're going to have to be expending some money here to get this thing going. There's the next one. It means I might not be able to pay off the loan this episode, but I'm quite confident that is not going to be too much of a problem in the short run. Alright, we pushed it down to 14 minutes. That's the bus and that's the truck. Need to keep an eye on these things. And of course the first year or two we're probably going to be running a deficit here. As these people simply need to discover the fact that there is all of a sudden a bus line between these two towns. Almost there. More or less eyeing this crossroads as a point where I add another vehicle. There it is. At the moment we have, what, 6 vehicles? 1, 2, 3, 4... Yep, 6. New vehicle available, the Benz. This is actually quite good. The Benz is far better than what we're using so far on these freight lines. Because what we're using on the freight lines is this one, the DMG Canstat. Speed 25. The Benz transports more, faster, at 40. So let's see if I can upgrade at least one of my cargo lines, for example the Mason construction line, to those vehicles. The Benz. Replace now, it's going to cost me 545, I don't have that. But this is going to be a future goal. Let's see, these vehicles can run for I think 30 years. Lifespan 30 years, yeah. So if I put it at, let's say, half the automatic replacement, that should be fine. 50%. Automatic replacement on. Okay, where am I buses. Here's one, I think. Are you actually faster than that bus? Top speed 25. No, you're at the same speed. You're just driving a convoy there. Some people waiting here in Joker's Ridge. That's good news. Means that people are starting to figure out that there is a bus. They're only going one way at the moment. Let's add a few more. I should have fed these things in a bit more naturally, of course. Let's see, they're gonna go here, there. I'm gonna mark this one as the point where I need to send out the next one. This road vehicle 45. Almost there. Picks up 5 people. Not exactly sure where they're gonna go, but I think the Joker's Ridge. 12 there. Off you go. Oh, somebody had to go just across town, and that was it. Alright. Post bus. Where's the next one? Here. How are we doing on cash? 200k last year. Slight loss this year, but I've bought for almost 150,000 on new vehicles. So that's not surprising. Yep, off you go. Okay, now we have these buses arriving every 4 minutes, which I think is decent. Whalers to Sheba still making good money. Even the internal lines in Sheba are doing alright. As well as... yeah, there's the Mason line. New ship. Let's see about paying enough another 500,000 this year. There's road vehicle 47. Where's the other ones? We should be seeing a bus coming home back right about now. I think this is the first one. So far it hasn't made anything, but it is picking up passengers on its way back. And it seems that he's not the only one. All of these buses are carrying passengers by now. They're all running full. That's good. What sort of speed can these roads sustain? 40, so I don't need to upgrade them just yet. That'd be pretty expensive at that. There's 500k, paid off. 700. Well, still, it's 1913, and I'm looking at decent profits and almost no loan. I want to know how much that bus is going to make me. Nice drive through the countryside here. I believe that you could look around here, but I never really figured out how. Alright, there's the town. There's definitely a good number of people waiting, at least on the edge of town here. Via Chester Road. Ching, 9,000. And that's not all of them. Only a few of them got out. Alright, this year so far I haven't bought a single vehicle. Profit 320, 350,000, near enough. 400. There's another 10k. Hang on, what are you doing turning around? Oh, hang on. From Grove Road, the bus then turns around for some reason. Why would it do that? It should be going to Park Avenue. I don't get that. Ah, I think the bus stop's only on the one side of the road. There you go. That fixed it. Come on, give me a bit more cash and we can pay it off. That's a massive change from the previous playthrough so far. Normally I was, well, 10 million in debt or more. Not this time. Let's see how their passenger transport is doing. Mediocre. So they're not too bad on that. How about here? Poor. Okay. Well, that's not really something we can much improve, because Rosie's Garden is easier to connect to the other towns that are closer to it. This one, not so much. And I'm sure as hell not going to build something that can reach all the way down to Smuggler's Run. That is going to be very expensive if I want to make a road down there. New train. Profit last year, 500,000. That means that this year is probably going to be a little less because of the transport. Joker's Ridge actually making a profit. Again, wouldn't be surprised to see this thing going up and down and up and down, simply for the reason that they seem to arrive in bursts. They're all arriving in Rosie's Garden now. But they are... Actually, they're not doing too bad. I thought they were more clustered than they are. Right, what can we do next? I'm always for improving towns that I'm already improving further. So seeing what else I can do. I think that fuel production is not going to be too easy. Because there were only 2 oil wells, I think. The Harpoon Bay. All the way down there. And where's the other one? There is no other one. Okay. That's the only one that's producing crude oil. There is no other option. The only thing that can work with that are the Rosie's Garden and the Mosquito. Yeah, this one I can still reach by ship. This one not so much, so I'd have to bring it to a dock first by car and then transport it by ship. And then from there, potentially take some fuel back to Spittle Flat. Look at that. That's impressive, isn't it? Take it back to Spittle Flat, or transport it by truck to Mosquito Bay and or Sheba's Landing. If we can feed Sheba's Landing with a bit more jobs, that might mean... Let's see... There are more jobs here than there is population. That's interesting. I was hoping it was going to be the other way around. Because if there was going to be more population than jobs, people would have to go here, to Sheba's Landing. And from over there, once it's being supplied with fuel, we could make sure that this town gets more attractive, and as such gets more passengers. Now getting a new ship is going to get rather expensive. But I think that doing this by road is ridiculous because it's just way too far. Ship is probably the better option. How's Mason doing? Pretty good. This used to be 29, so the amount of jobs here is growing. The amount of population is not. How can we boost that? Simply usually by delivering additional people there, but it is such an isolated place that it's really hard to get additional people over there. Short of running a huge length bus line. And we're talking vast distances from Mosquito Bay all the way over to Mason. It's doable, sure, but not preferable. Anyway. Mason Construction, how are your vehicles? Some of them are coming up to 15 years, at which they'll get replaced with those Benzes. That's going to get not too expensive, 65k per vehicle. And since we are in the green, we can probably fit that into our budget somewhere. And in the meanwhile, start making preparations for additional lines. So while I'm doing alright, I want more. See, these towns at the moment are too small to really justify having a train route. but a bus could do. Simply from Spittle Flat to Harpoon Bay, and then Harpoon Bay to... was that Duck Pond? Unfortunately, this bridge is all the way up here. If that bridge was over there, it would make it far easier to get to Joburg Crater. But I could set up a ship. So have a dock over here. And just send the people over from, let's say, Spittle Flat and Harpoon Bay by ship to Joburg Crater. That's just going to get quite expensive, so for now let's focus on what we can do, which is taking up people from Spittle Flat and sending them to Harpoon Bay. And then I'd say onwards to Duck Pond. How much does this cover? Pretty much all of it. Alright, that'll do for now. It's going to be a long bus route. All the way back. Right, let's start by getting another vehicle depot here. This is going to take a lot of vehicles. Oh, I didn't even name it. That was Spittle Flat all the way up to Duck Pond. Alright, it just left. This is where I'm going to be spending my money for now. Because once these towns start growing, simply because they're getting better connected, they should also be providing me with the potential opportunity later on to get trains. Once these roads start clogging up. That's going to be a long way off. But it's so weird to not have any debt. I mean, it's pretty much a complete break of my playstyle. Alright, the first one is about to arrive in Harpoon Bay. I'd say they're pretty evenly spaced out at this point. Income, 500,000 last year. All in the green. Are you picking up anybody? Yep, he's bringing passengers to the next stop, which is going to be main road. Creative. Off you go. No people waiting in Spittle Flat yet. Mostly because the bus is probably going to take a long time to get there. This is 7 minutes waiting time at the moment, which is still rather generous. And that's probably actual minutes. So, real-time minutes, not game minutes. Not exactly sure how many minutes pass in-game, or how many months pass in-game per minute. But there must be quite a few of them. Alright, the first bus is almost at Duck Pond at this stage. Road vehicle 48. Are there people waiting there? Yes, actually. 8 people waiting. Interesting. I'm gonna launch a new vehicle. Yeah, I think a ship, a small shipping route here for passengers all the way over to Joburg's Crater would probably be easiest. Keep feeding these in. First one is just coming out of Spittle Flat. Made a bit of profit, not too much. Wasn't expecting much. Oh, there's another town up there. Well, we'll have to tie that in some other route. Okay, next. Gotta watch the cash reserves. By the time that this one, road vehicle 48, is almost back, that's when I know that I have enough vehicles. And I wouldn't be surprised if we're going to be seeing some of these things get upgraded. Yep, Mason Construction is starting to use some of these Benz trucks by now. Rosie's Food Line is also starting to use some older vehicles by now. Right, we're going to have to upgrade that eventually. Still poor connection. Mediocre connection over there. Where are you? You're heading to Green Lane? That's this stop? Yep, so he's almost back. $500,000 in the bank. How much is the waiting time? 148 seconds, so a little over 2.5 minutes. Actually, a little under 2.5 minutes. Is this 48? Yeah, that's 48. Still making a profit. Is that line making a profit? No, not yet. It will. Confident about that. Alright, off you go. There's 48. Bunch of road vehicles on this line. How many do we have by now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we're almost looking at 18 vehicles on that one road. And we're still keeping up with it financially as well. New vehicles, 500,000. New vehicles, 360k. Still, not bad. Plenty of people waiting here by now. Made 14k, good man. Only in the first year did he not make a profit. Not surprising, he was the pioneer vehicle. Okay, so that covers the new line. And the spacing between these vehicles is now 102 seconds. The entire line is making money. Look at that. Alright, Rosie's Garden. Can I replace all of these with the Benz? It's going to cost me 535. No, in that case I'm going to do it gradually. 75% age, automatic replace. 75% comes down to 22.5 years old. Alright, not bad. Look at the money. We just passed into the new year. I didn't buy any new vehicles this year. I wonder how much I'm going to be making if I don't actually touch anything. That could be anywhere north of 500k. I think maybe in the area of 700. If it really goes down well. There are already more people waiting here than my buses can handle. He just turned around. Some more people heading probably to this main road stop. I think so. Oh, some of these houses are not even getting supplied. Like, they're not covered under the bus stop. Okay. Look at that. Almost making me 100k this year. I think we're going to be... There it is, 100k. Good balance. Only whalers, counterclockwise and clockwise are not making me any. That is possibly due to the lack of frequency. These buses, these local ones, arrive less often than the buses between Whalers and Chiba. Okay. Interesting. I may need to replace those. or add a few more to get some more people covered by the bus stops and have more people feeding into this stop to go to Shiba. Still, it's rated as poor. Alright, it's September. I've made 313,000. Of course, it keeps jumping up and down. Plenty of people waiting to go to Shiba. 320. Come on, we can do better. 130,000. 135. Let's just tick into the new year and call it a day. 431k. 400k. Okay, we're not going to see the 700k that I thought I was going to get. That makes sense. There, 450. I'd say that's a good number. No loan, nothing. Alright, so that's it for this episode. New line, all the way from Duck Pond to the south here in Spittle Flat. Added some new vehicles, paid off all of my loan, and that means that I'm now pretty free to start developing new profitable routes. Potentially, the first one in the next episode is going to be that ship heading to that, what was it, Johannes Crater, I think? Joburg Crater. And from there, ship it across and get passengers flowing between Joburg's Crater and Spittle Flat. Because building a bridge is going to get a bit expensive. 5 million. Potentially, future. Not for now. For now, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you soon for more.